Hello and welcome to the daily newspaper analysis from Clat Possible. Today we will be taking up the important news items from the Indian Express as well as the Hindu for the 17th of February 2024. So without wasting any more time, space seems to be the theme of the year, guys, and please keep it in mind because it started off on the 1st of January with an ISRO mission called Mission Exposat. And so today at around 5:15, I think, there's going to be 5:35, right? So ISRO is going to launch this rocket called Naughty Boy, right? And this is India's latest weather satellite that is going to be launched today. So a little bit of the things that we need to learn from here. So the very first one being, what is the name of the satellite? This is InSatellite or InSat 3DS. The launch vehicle is GSLV F-14, very, very important, right? The name of the rocket I just told you is Naughty Boy. So the name of the satellite, if they ask, this is InSat 3DS. If they ask us what is the name of the launch vehicle, right? So this is the geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle. In the previous CLAT exam, they had asked us the full form of PSLV. If they keep it that simple, they might ask you the full form of GSLV. That is also important because of the fact that there is another mission that is going to take place this year, which is called the NISAR mission, but I will come to that in some time. The launch site in India, if it is India, it has to be Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. So it has used indigenously developed cryogenic engine. Now, point is that if it is indigenously developed, it is great news for our country because not only can we utilize it, we can also, sort of give it to other countries and earn a lot of foreign exchange with respect to the same. Is the weight important for our examination? Not really, but well, it was written in the newspaper, so I have written it down. 2,274. Mission life is, yes, absolutely very, very necessary over here. So you kindly keep this in mind. This is 10 years. Now, it was funded by the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Now, one might think, Department of Science and Technology है, Department of Space है, ये Ministry of Earth Sciences क्यों आ गया यहाँ पे? Beta, the answer to the question is right here. This is a weather satellite, right? So it is going to record the ever-changing nature of weather and how it is impacting livelihood, how it might impact us, right? So, which is why we have done this. Now, coming back to what is NISAR. So, NISAR is basically a NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar mission. It is another mission that is a combination of NASA and ISRO. We can maybe take it up some other time, but a few components of NISAR has been given by NASA, the others have been given by ISRO, and well, this is also to map the entire globe. Around 3 years is the mission life, and it takes around 12 days. It will take around 12 days for the NISAR satellite to go across the globe. So that is also going to utilize maybe this launch vehicle, is what the Indian Express and the Hindu had to say. बाकी हम देख लेंगे कि कौन सा वाला है और वो वाला learn करेंगे. Let's go ahead. The next one is with respect to our law commission. We've done this before plenty of times. Let's quickly talk about the body. So we are talking about the Law Commission, and unlike other bodies, which are, so unlike other bodies which are basically constitutional in nature or statutory in nature, this one is an executive body, meaning thereby that there's no article for it and there's no act made for it. That means as and when the Ministry of Law and Justice requires such a body, they sort of constitute it. And once it is constituted, the term is usually of 3 years, right? What is the job of the Law Commission? There is an ever-changing demand and there's an ever-changing need in the society of new laws, dynamic laws, right? Laws need to be evolved with time, and that is why we keep the Law Commission. The decisions of the Law Commission are absolutely not binding in nature, but at least it shows us like a way, a path forward, right? Now, if we talk about the Law Commission, it was for the first time founded by virtue of the Charter Act of 1833 back in the day when we were under British Raj, and it was constituted in 1834, and the very first chairperson of the Law Commission was Lord Macaulay. But if I talk about the first Indian after independent India to be the chairman of the Law Commission, that was MC Setalvad, who by the way was also the first Attorney General of India. Right now, we have the 22nd Law Commission, which is under the chairmanship of Justice Rituraj Avasthi. Now, what are they talking about? They're talking about NRIs. Now, what are NRIs? Firstly, we all know the full form. This is a non-resident Indian, right? What is who is a non-resident Indian? As the name suggests, it is an Indian citizen who is not residing in India for a particular time, right? So, for example, there are many terms and conditions, but amongst them being in the previous year, if you haven't been here for, let's say 183 days in one financial year, then you're termed as an NRI for that particular financial year. There are so many incidents that we keep reading about wherein, there are people who are sort of Indian origin. They have gone settled abroad. They have gained the citizenship of abroad. Then they come back over here because they want an Indian wife. They come back, they get married to that wife, and then या फिर हमें domestic violence के केस पता चलते हैं, या फिर हमें बाइगमी का केस पता चलता है कि भाई बंदे की बीवी ऑलरेडी उधर थी, यहाँ से ले गया, या फिर सर्वेंट की तरह ट्रीट करते हैं. So many such things are, and lady का पासपोर्ट छीन लिया जाता है. There are many things that we keep reading about. So law panel has recommended a law to register the NRI marriages so that our Ministry of External Affairs, if need be, can rescue such a person. So let's see what happens with respect to that. Let's go ahead. This one is a great news for inclusivity in the world. Now, what has happened is Greece is a very orthodox country. It is the first such orthodox country to legalize same-sex marriages, to be open to same-sex marriages, unlike our country, right? So how many countries recognize same-sex marriages is a question that can be asked. So right now, as of 2024, there are 37 countries. Which is the latest one? It is Greece, as you can see, which was the first one to pass a law. It was Netherlands, right, in the year 2000, and it came into effect in 2001. लॉ बना 2000 में, लॉ एनफोर्स हुआ 2001 में. पहली कंट्री कौन सी थी? नीदरलैंड्स थी. अगर हम अपने देश के बारे में बात करें तो पिछले साल एक बहुत ज़्यादा टॉक्ड अबाउट केस था जो कि इसी के ऊपर था कि सेम सेक्स मैरिजेस को शुड वी रिकॉग्नाइज इट, शुड वी नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज इट. एंड सो द नेम ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर केस वाज सुप्रिया चक्रवर्ती एंड अनदर वर्सेस द यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, and they declined to recognize same-sex marriages. Now, why would the judiciary do that? It's because of the fact that the judiciary says that making a law comes under the ambit of the legislature. So they don't want to do a judicial overreach. You may agree with it, you may disagree with it. That is what the decision is, right? Apart from that, since Greece is in news, so the capital, the president, the prime minister, of course, becomes very important. You and I both know that we can't learn the entire names, but maybe we can pick out a part of the name that is easy for us to remember. So you can do it like that, right? So this is what is the news regarding Greece. Let's go ahead. The next one is with respect to China and Tibet. Now, a little bit about China and Tibet is that China came and invaded Tibet in 1949. Until 1959, the Tibetans and the Dalai Lama and everyone were like, acha theek hai, kuch hoga, maybe some kind of, maybe they'll go back or whatever it is. But in 1959, Tenzin Gyatso, who was the 14th Dalai Lama, and all of his followers, they sort of, fled the country and they came into our country. And there's this place called Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh where they are residing. So over the years, a lot has been happening. And now what has happened is that the United States of America, their House of Representatives, which is, agar hum India ki baat kare, to unki Lok Sabha, right? So their House of Representatives has passed a bill about China and Tibet. And what have they basically said? That the Chinese government should resume talks with the Dalai Lama and possibly get make a solution with respect to the same and not delay this particular thing. तो जैसे कि मैंने बोला कि Tibet came under the control of the People's Republic of China, and when the government of Tibet signed a basic agreement with the 14th Dalai Lama in 1951. However, later on Dalai Lama says that I was under duress, and so hence I do not believe in this particular agreement. China जो Tibet को invade कर चुकी है, काफ़ी देर से, उस एरिया को बोलती है पीसफुल लिबरेशन ऑफ टिबेट, बिकॉज चाइना का क्लेम ये है कि हिस्टोरिकली ये हमारा था इसलिए अभी भी हमारा है। चाइना का ये क्लेम हर एक चीज़ के लिए है, राइट। कल जाके मतलब वो पूरा सोलर सिस्टम को बोलेगा ये हिस्टोरिकली हमारा था इसलिए हमें वापस दे दो। पॉइंट इज सेंट्रल टिबेटन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन जो है वो बोलता है दैट चाइनीज हैव इन्वेडेड टिबेट। सो उनके तरफ से दिस इज अ चाइनीज इन्वेजन ऑफ टिबेट और चाइना की तरफ से दिस इज पीसफुल लिबरेशन ऑफ टिबेट। चलो ठीक है, खुद का राज चल रहा है तो कुछ भी कर रहे हैं लोग। अब नेक्स्ट हमारा आ जाता है म्यांमार्स न्यू लॉ में ट्रिगर मास एक्सोडस। सो व्हाट इज द लॉ? दिस इज अ डेकेड ओल्ड लॉ ऑफ Myanmar wherein compulsory military service when called upon to do so for a minimum of 2 years has been made mandatory for both males as well as females. तो हुआ क्या है कि 2010 में ये लॉ होता था इनका, जब पीपल्स मिलिट्री सर्विस लॉ पास हुआ था। एंड उनके मतलब उस टाइम पे भी एक प्रीवियस मिलिट्री गवर्नमेंट थी। मिलिट्री गवर्नमेंट का मतलब होता है जब उनके जनरल्स वगैरह मिलिट्री कू करके खुद देश चलाने लग जाते हैं। तो उसमें मेल्स का एज कैटेगरी वाज अलग, फीमेल्स का एज कैटेगरी वाज अलग। एंड इट बेसिकली सेड इफ कॉल्ड अपॉन टू डू सो you have to serve in the Myanmar army for a minimum of 2 years mandatorily. So this is the first time it has been activated after a decade. Young men and women will be subject to at least 2 years of military service if called upon to do so, to serve, right? 2021 में कौन थी? ऑन सांग सू की, right? She has been of course she was ousted and then thereafter she was also under house arrest and all of that. So अभी आज की डेट पे क्या है? मिंग ओंग लेंग, he is the one who is the prime minister, this is the president and that's the capital. So that is important for us because of course Myanmar is in news. Myanmar is also in news because of the free movement regime जो हम already कर चुके हैं एक बार, तो मैं इसको दोबारा से नहीं कर रही, पर आप इसको जाके रिवाइज करिएगा, बहुत बहुत important है, ठीक है। So that is that about Myanmar. Let's go ahead. And the next one is to do with Mr. Vladimir Putin. So ऐसा है, this was an opposition there was, so anyone who opposes Vladimir Putin somehow drops dead, right? So was this a murder or was this like a natural death? Who's to say? Point is that a very, very strong critic, you can see him over here, of Mr. Vladimir Putin, he dropped dead, Alexei, right? And yeah, so world leaders denounce Putin over his death. They say he has been murdered in jail. हमारे लिए ये सब कंट्रोवर्सी के बजाय इसका नाम लर्न कर लेना, ठीक है? बस that's that with respect to this. And that is that with respect to today's daily newspaper analysis. If you found this video informative, kindly like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and we will keep coming back with such informative videos for you. Thank you very much.